Hello and welcome to the Dietitian Boss podcast. This is Coach Heather from Team Dietitian Boss, and I am really excited to be joined today by Andrea Beck. She's going to share with us a little bit about her journey in starting her private practice and what she's building behind the scenes and also in front of the scenes right now and launching to her ideal client. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Can you please share with our listeners where they can connect with you and what you're up to in your private practice?
So, yes, my name is Andrea Beck, and I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a mom of two little active boys and just busy with them, but also just trying to make all of this happen. You can find me on Instagram under Strong Her with Andrea. And then I also have a nutrition page just called Nutrition and Exercise 101 with Andrea. So on both of them, I just kind of post, daily tips that revolve around nutrition, education, mindset, exercise tips, videos, things like that. So my class is called Strong Her, and I teach that all online. And so I talk about that also there on the Facebook and the Instagram page.
Awesome. And it's so great that you're exploring this online medium to connect with people and support them with their health and fitness goals because
Yeah.
Strong Her does have some fitness goals attached with it in addition to some nutritional goals. Is that right?
Yes, and really my goal is to kind of teach this like a comprehensive class where they become not just strong in their body, but strong inside with nutrition and then strong in their mindset. So, and strong in their faith, because I'll tie some scripture along with it. So, trying to just become like overall strong.
Awesome. And mindset is such an important piece of so many different parts
Yeah.
of the business journey and the health journey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where have you seen some crossovers for that with
100%.
what
Yeah.
you're teaching your
Yeah.
clients
It's so
and
funny you
what you're
asked
doing for
that.
yourself?
Yeah, because there are questions that are asked on our Facebook page, and then I will ask them differently, but the exact same question to my Strong Her page. For example, this week I did that exactly where we're asked what a fixed versus a growth mindset. And so, of course, that was asked on a business side point, like what is a growth, versus a fixed mindset. And so that was really helpful to answer that, but then to turn around and ask that exact same question, use the exact same template on Canva, but then turn around and ask them what is a fixed mindset that you've been able to change to a growth mindset by being here and stronger. And then explaining the two in a health way versus a business way, but the exact same thing for a mindset.
Yeah, I love that about the Dietitian Boss method because we model what we encourage you to do with your clients,
Mhm.
right? And you get to see it
Yep.
play out in real time and
Yep.
then apply that to your business.
Yes. So every time that we're asked, like, what is a weekly win? I now ask that to my group. What are your struggles? Now I ask that to my group. Needing to have a Sunday prepare day. Now I tell that to the group. And so it just really gave me that idea to set up a template just like that but to post it and to get that discussion going.
I love that. That's really it's giving me chills because
Good.
that is our goal. That's
Good.
why we do all of this in Dietitian Boss. So you mentioned that you're a busy mom of two active boys. How do you juggle being a mom, running this group that you're running with
Mhm.
Stronger, starting an online course? I mean, what does your
Mhm.
day or week look like?
Well, that's a good question. Some days just feel, kind of chaotic. Honestly, even right now, like let's say with just my full-time job right now, let's say a patient no-shows or they cancel last minute and I end up with that free 45-minute spot. I'll use it for that to build content, to read, to watch a video. I'll use that a lot. I'll use my meal plan or my meal hour. I get 30 minutes of a lunch break, so I'll, can eat and just watch a video, which is handy. So I can just watch that while eating. So that happens often in that day. I am am not one to give up sleep, so I don't stay up late. And I try to do that because, one thing that you just said of like how we're trying to model that mindset or model that behavior, I'm teaching that to strong her of how important sleep is. So on the flip side, I can't take away my sleep to try to make all this happen. So I am a morning person. I'll get up pretty early before my kids, and that's kind of my time that I'll do like my devotional reading, workout, plan for the day. So that is really helpful for me to get just organized for the day.
Sounds like you have a pretty set schedule that
Yes,
supports
yeah.
you.
It almost just kind of have to. And I feel like that is something, you teach, of course, with health of, like, let's just say that you're going to wake up and be like, well, maybe I'll eat healthy today, or maybe I won't, or maybe I'll work out today, or maybe I won't. So if I look at that from a business standpoint of maybe I'll make contacts today, or maybe I won't, maybe I'll watch a video, maybe I won't, then it's not going to happen.
Absolutely. And what advice would you have for somebody who struggles with blocking their time or creating a schedule?
Well, we've been taught about setting SMART goals and writing those out. And so, I literally did that. I really wanted this to work. So I think it's just such a desire that I really want it to happen that it had to be high on my priority list. And so I kind of like in life that I call like non-negotiables. And so if that was just a non-negotiable to me of like, if I want this to happen, it's not, I've tried so long to try to make it happen on my own and just kind of willy-nilly it, and it's not working. So I had to. It wasn't an option. I liked that it could be like, it doesn't feel like it has to be hours every single day, because when I went into it and had that very first conversation, I was honest, on the phone of I have 1 to 3 hours a week to put into this, and not 1 to 3 hours a day. And so even if it is a 30-minute lunch break, that still adds up to quite a bit of time.
Yeah. And so when we talk about rebellion, we say you can do it in 1 hour per week. Has that been realistic
Yep.
for you?
Totally realistic and doable because it's really all I got. And I was worried about that at first because I just kind of first had the mindset that I had to be all in it to be able to grow it.
Yeah. Awesome. That is so important for us in rebellion, for the people who are in rebellion to really, really be able to deliver on that, actually having something that is tangible with 1 hour a week, right? So you mentioned the support. You kind of mentioned the Facebook group without saying the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But in Rebellion, we have a Facebook group where we make some of the posts that you're modeling in your Facebook group. What are some of the other benefits or support that you found from the Facebook group in Rebellion?
I have used that just as much as I have the education because I can make a flyer and post it on there. And I've done it with every single flyer I've made. I've posted on there and said, how does this look? And gotten not just feedback from Dietitian Boss, but from people that are other dietitians. And so I like that too. Like it's real, just real feedback. So I've used that, but I've also seen other people's. So then that also gives me real life ideas of here's my website, here's this flyer, here's my Instagram, here's a post I made, and what's working and what's not working. So I've loved that. I've loved the cheering on because there have definitely been times that I've been down on myself with it of where my expectations were and a little bit high, a little bit like I wanted it all right off the bat, right? Without hardly any work. So that was helpful to have like a check-in of saying like, what is your win? And really to be able to focus on every single small win of I got one new person and celebrate that week versus, being down that it was only one new person. So I've really enjoyed the positivity and the encouragement from it as well.
Isn't that so funny? Because wanting it all without any of the work is exactly what we bump up against with our private practice clients too, right?
Yeah, right. With health. Yeah.
Yeah.
A magic pill.
Yeah, exactly. So we come across the same things in our businesses
Yep.
that our clients come across in their health journeys. And I love how that's mirroring itself for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you are starting to niche more and more, you said. You're
Mm-hmm.
focusing on your niche, you're focusing a little bit differently on marketing. What have you learned in Rebellion and what are you applying that's helped you with that? Because so many people
Yeah.
get caught up or kind of tripped up on this particular process.
Well, it's hard. It really is hard because, and I was just talking about this to a friend of how, like, in my mind, I want to hit everybody, right? I want to hit the busy mom, but it's okay if you don't have kids. I want to hit somebody who is spiritual and wants to tie in scripture, but it's okay if you don't. Like, I want to hit everybody. Your experience in working out, your brand, like all of it. And so it's so hard because when you feel like you're at the beginning, when you feel like you're working on a niche, it feels like you're not hitting as many people versus the other way around. So it's taught me how that can feel so overwhelming that
Mhm.
if there is, all the people out there that are specifically looking for something for them, and then you come across my marketing that's like, woo, it's all for everybody. It doesn't feel like it would help that exact person. So it's helped me with my wording. It's also helped with asking the question in the marketing of how realizing that I need to find a need that needs to be met and then to ask that question. So then that way, when they're reading through that question, they're like, yes, that's me. This person's for me.
Yeah, you summed up the most common blocks to niching, right? And we've all been there. I mean,
Mm.
nobody skips this phase. There's
Yeah, good.
always that fear that, oh my gosh, if I talk to this person, then I'm not talking to all
Mm-hmm.
these other people. Even if you already have a niche like weight loss
Mm-hmm.
or weight loss with personal training, there's so many more ways to narrow that down, which is
So
what
many.
you're sharing.
Yeah.
So now that you have help with that wording and asking the right questions or asking the questions that your ideal client wants answered, what kind of results are you seeing from that?
It is helping with the marketing side of it. And I feel more confident in it. I feel more confident in a way that I don't mind reaching out to people like in a private message. If they comment under it or share it or like it, or if I do a live, and I've just become more confident to reach out to a person where I've been doing lives and videos and talking on the screen for years. That was not my issue. My issue was kind of the follow through and targeting people. So that part has helped with like just feeling that I can reach out to people and really noticing that when you put a problem out there and a question, but there's also a solution, that it does like create that relationship with people to where they want to engage or talk back or yeah, engage. I just have to say engage, that it just creates that more of a relationship feel versus me just throwing out all these stats of why bananas are good for you.
Yeah, it's so important, the relationship building part, right?
Yeah.
And has there been a mind those conversations, or is it just that you're talking to your ideal client now and it's
Mhm.
easier for conversations to naturally
I
happen?
think it's that. I think it's that it's somebody who I know that they want to hear it, and versus me just out there trying to like find people that want
Yeah,
to talk to me.
and that's kind of the illogical piece of niching, right? Is
Mhm.
that you feel like the fear is that you're not going to talk to enough people as you
Mhm.
narrow down. But the reality is that you become a magnet or attract the right people that actually want to have conversations with you instead
Absolutely.
of like knocking on random doors
Yeah.
and be like, hey, do you want to hear about my weight loss program?
Right. And it is so funny how much the two are identical of a health client and being in this program, because I want to feel like I'm having a relationship with the people. I want to feel like they're hearing me and that I could, not just go and just complain all the time, but really be heard and that this is my issue and what do I do? But at the same time, like when I was first looking for a business coach, I could have just done like a business coach, but I wanted a dietitian business coach. So I just think that that's just one example of like why that niche stood out of like, well, they're going to help me because I'm a dietitian.
Yeah, absolutely. So important. So, what are some of the accomplishments or wins or goals that you've hit since joining Rebellion?
I've gotten more clients, which of course makes more revenue. So that's always a win. But I have become more comfortable with marketing. I feel like I can almost make content very quickly now. It's not something that I need hours to do. It's like, oh, just have it, I want to market this or I have an idea for this and I can just go on Canva and make something pretty quickly, throw it out there and there you go. Same with Reels, but also the templates that were given in Rebellion made it just that much quicker. It was like, you need to like offer this, call it this, here's a format, here's what you should charge, go. And I was just like, oh, that's what I needed. And it was like, I got all the ideas in my head. I just needed that implementation.
Oh, that's so great. And it's amazing that you're using those templates and actually putting them into action. And as a coach, one of the things I love seeing is how each of you can make the templates unique to your business and your ideal client, and they don't look cookie cutter from person to person.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your dreams that you have right now for this business, for your private practice?
Well, for it to be my main source of income. Yeah, that's definitely the main goal. I want to be able to build it to where I can just completely rely on that and then, have the dream flexible schedule. And it makes, being a working mom to two active little boys a lot easier because it doesn't matter if you're, sitting at a baseball tournament, you can load content or, take a picture of your snack at the baseball field and just post it and there you go, like you've got content. But that actually to be able to help build revenue is definitely my goal because I already love to do those things. I just want it to be able to help me know how, like the right wording, the right marketing, who am I reaching out to them in the private message, feel like there's a comment and I can do that and just be able to run with it more.
One of the things you said at the beginning of our conversation is that you joined Rebellion because you felt like you've been doing this, but you were spinning your wheels a bit and weren't really making as much progress as you wanted to. How has Rebellion helped you get closer to reaching that dream? I know you're almost like a little over halfway on your revenue goal to reaching that dream of having this as your total revenue, your total income. How has Rebellion helped move you towards that?
Yeah, that exactly. So, I mean, every time that, I get a new sign up to the class, anytime that I've created a mini course from the idea from here, marketing and all of that has increased. And so that is definitely my goal. It was also helpful to write out a budget, which was asked here. And that was helpful to me to kind of see like XYZ. Okay, well, if you want this, you've got to do this and you've got to sell this. And how do you get there versus just kind of hoping and praying that it works, but actually having like a plan.
Yeah, winging it usually doesn't get you to the results that you want, right? Again, in health and in business, just kind of winging it. You might get there, it'll take a little bit long, right?
Yeah, it takes a little bit longer. And I've tried it. I really have for years. This has been something that I've been doing on the side. And it's not only is a lot to be, it's a lot to be a full-time working mom plus trying to run this side business. So I'm just like, okay, if you want this to work, it's time to either let it go and just stay where you're at and just call it good or really run with it and try to grow it properly.
We're so grateful that you have stuck it out because I love your content. I love the women that you're supporting. I love watching it all unfold. what have been some of the best parts of starting your own practice? I mean, we've covered that it's challenging, it can be hard, but what have been some of the best parts?
Right now it is extra income, so that is helpful to be able to do things like this. I mean, of course, it costs money, so it's helpful to be able to put that into it. It's helpful to have the income to put into paying for marketing on social media. And so if I make an ad, it's and being able to pay for that is helpful. So right now, that is super helpful to have that extra income. The main goal I want it to be is time. I want more time. That's what I want. That's my main goal. I want more time in my day. And that would give it to me because then I would be making the same amount of money, but working less.
Yeah, and I have faith that we will support you in getting there. I know
Good.
that it's possible.
Good.
I've seen it happen before. I know it's possible for you. If there's a mom, a busy mom working full time or maybe even working part time and wondering, oh my gosh, should I give up on my private practice? What words of advice would you or words of encouragement would you give that person?
My words of encouragement would be to think about your priorities. And so, what is yours? And so, how do you work towards that? And right now in life, my priorities is more time with my kids. And that is my kind of guiding force of why I want this. And so, to know that you really can put just 1 to 3 hours a week into it doesn't feel like you're taking away from your family, but at the same time, actually making progress.
That's so important. Andrea, thank you so much for sharing your journey
Yeah.
with us. I'm pretty sure we'll check back in with you when you're hitting those revenue
Good.
goals and quitting your clinicals and
Yep.
just in private practice. I feel it. I know it can happen. So can you share with our audience one more time where they can connect with you if they want to follow
Yes.
along?
Instagram, it is Strong Her with Andrea. Facebook, it is Nutrition and Exercise 101 with Andrea. And I do have a website, and it is strongherwithandrea.com. And so on there, you can, of course, find everything on the website.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And I hope for you dietitian bosses out there listening today, you find some encouragement. We have Andrea, who's a busy mom with 2 busy boys at the baseball field, taking care of business and getting
That's right.
her private practice off the ground and thriving. And if she can do it, we know you can do it too. And we want to support you in that process. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for joining us on the Dietitian Boss podcast, and we will hear from you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.